First off, Kansas City versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is at Kansas City. Obviously, they're the number 1 seed. Right now, they are 8.5-point favorites, and it's being played Saturday at 4:30. This is kicking off the divisional weekend. Jack, who do you got in this game? What do you think?
Now, I'm going to keep for the sake of it, since I was 6, if I was not 6-0, I wouldn't have done this, but since I got all of them right the divisional week, I'm going to keep all my picks, whether I like it or not. I do still like it. But for this game, I do have a big caveat I was thinking about for this game. I mean, and it's a combination of things. First of all, the Chiefs have been playing down. I should give context. I predicted the Chiefs to win, and I'm going to stand by that, even with what I'm saying. Even if I wasn't going to hold myself to keeping my original picks, I would have picked the Chiefs anyway. But this Chiefs team has been playing down to competition a lot this year. Still often winning games, right? Often even winning these games when they played down to competition, but still playing down to competition. That's thing one for me. Thing two, I think about last year. And I think about the 1 seeds last year, the Titans and the Packers. Both of those teams were at least like neither of those teams we thought were a team like the Bucs, right? Were this absolutely terrible team. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers was having an MVP performance, right? He won the MVP that year. They still had Devontae Adams. The Titans, Henry was having a near MVP performance. I think he may have been hurt that game. I forget exactly. But my point with this is both of those teams lost. Both of those teams lost the 1 seed. It makes me think about, is there a level of rustiness? Could there be a level of rustiness? Maybe not massive, not enough. If there's going to be an absolutely massive sort of difference between these two teams. But I just wonder, right? I think a lot of people would not have taken the Packers to lose against the 49ers last year. I forget. Maybe they did, and it's different. But that's my sort of thinking. That the Jaguars have proved, if hopefully Trevor Lawrence got his funk out in the first half of his first playoff game, if he doesn't throw 4 picks, that game against the Chargers isn't even close if he doesn't have 4 picks. With the shellacking they gave him in the second half. Even the first half, if there weren't 4 picks, 3 of them to the same guy, I think that would be different. And that just makes me think, I could see those factors making this a much closer than 8.5-point game. And so if I'd revise my score, which actually didn't lay my score for this game anyway, but I have a feeling this will be a closer field goal or touchdown, like a 1-score game, basically is my point. I think this will be a 1-score game. I don't think 8.5, I think it would be way too much for me to bite on. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts.
Excellent. I actually completely agree with you on this one. So hopefully that means that we'll both actually improve the win record. Although you can only make the win record worse. I'll point that out at this point after going 6-0. But, the way I look at this is Kansas City, despite everything you said, they've dropped 1 game to the Colts. That was their only bad loss. Then they lost to the Bills and the Bengals. That's their entire season, okay? They actually played Jacksonville week 10. Not sure if everybody's familiar with that. But basically in that game, the Jags, they started by kicking an onside kick to start the game. And they recovered. Because that's how Dougie P rolls. We all know the man has, massive kahunas, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right. And so he does that against the Chiefs. The Chiefs proceed to fumble twice in the first half, and Mahomes throws an interception. And Kansas City won 27-17. Okay. They lost the turnover ratio by 3. Trevor Lawrence played pretty decent, no turnovers.
And gave up an onside kick.
And they gave up an onside kick, and they won by 10. Okay? Now, listen, I hear what you're saying, Kansas City. They could be a little bit rusty. The Jags can score quickly. There's something about – I've seen them do it against Dallas. I've seen them do it last week. They can score with that wide receiver group. If Trevor Lawrence is slinging the ball and not turning it over, they can definitely put up some numbers. But I got to take Kansas City here. Kansas City, 34-27. Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Buffalo Bills. Now, whether that should be fair or not, that's a whole different discussion, which we probably will get into.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it.
I forgot about season. But yes, they are going to Buffalo. I hear the tickets are for the seats up in the nosebleeds are around $300 a pop. So if that's what the experience you're looking to have in the cold. But The Bills are 4.5-point favorites Sunday at 3 p.m. This should be a classic, and hopefully it's the game that we were hoping to get on Monday night a couple weeks ago. Here's my take on this game.
It's gonna snow. It's gonna snow.
It's gonna
Sorry.
snow. Yeah. Wow. Everyone knows I don't look at the forecast.
Big snow. I know. That's what I thought of it because the other week. No, I'm not sure. Like again, this is not it might be 1 inch of snow. It might be nothing. We don't know. But
hey, listen, we love a little snow battle, a divisional classic against an Ohio team in a Western New York. I mean, that would be a blast. But yeah, no, I mean, the way that I look at it is last week, the Bengals and the Bills both struggled against opponents that they should have easily beat. I don't know. I feel like the Ravens, not only like record wise, but just in general at this point, they're only on their second string quarterback and not their third. And their defense is better than Miami's. I think that they have better coaching than Miami, although both last week that McDaniels and Harbaugh
management
looked like a mess at the end of games. But I think, Harbaugh is a Super Bowl winning coach and McDaniels is Brandon Staley with better marketing, in my opinion. So I think that I'm going to say the Bengals probably looked slightly better last week, although they didn't look great. Neither did the Bills. The Bills, we've seen this. They have won close games this season, but they have not been good in close games. They basically blow you out or they lose close. I mean, that's what we've seen. And so I'm not anticipating the Bills blowing out this team because the Bengals defense, it's sneakily good. People like to hype up the Bills defense, but if you look at a lot of the statistics and what they're giving up points, how many yards they're giving up, the Bengals defense actually pretty good. And so I think this is going to be not a super high scoring game, probably an average scoring game. My whole problem at this point is Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen is going to make some incredible plays, but we don't know what he's going to do in terms of if he's going to throw picks. Is he going to, have a fumble? He's a bit of a loose cannon right now, and he's been playing like that basically for half a season, essentially, maybe even more. And it's to the point where a couple months ago, when I go and see friends who are Buffalo Bills fans, they're like, "Yeah, Josh Allen looks good. Hey, he'll clean up those interceptions, but he's one of the best QBs in the league." Now it's to the point where they come out of this win, but it's like, man, Josh Allen, he cannot play like that. If he's going to play like that, we cannot win against better opponents. We're not going to go to the Super Bowl if Josh Allen's going to play like that. It seems like even the crazy Buffalo fans / bandwagon fans have sort of come to the realization that, if Josh Allen is going to play that loose with the ball and be a gunslinger, I mean, yeah, he could throw for 5 TDs, but he can also throw for 2-3 picks and lose a game for you. Brett Favre fashion, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals in a close one, 27-26 Bengals. What do you got, Jack?
I think I agree with everything you said. And yeah, I mean, this again, I originally picked the Bengals here. After watching those weeks, I also agree. I think that this Ravens team, even with their backup, was going to be a rougher opponent than the Dolphins. And that they both struggled. The fact that, Buffalo struggled against a weaker opponent, and I would say did not have a particularly convincing Week 18 win. Again, I'm not going to harp on that for too long, but at the very least, you could say that was not a particularly convincing win. It took 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown to win, right? That does not happen every week. Whereas the Bengals, and I know the Bengals would have had a close win against the Ravens Week 18. Or not close, but they had a more convincing win, I felt like, that week. And I just feel like I just like the Bengals more. I don't know. I pretty much for the reasons you said. That's why I don't have much else to say other than highlight that the Bills again struggled against what I think is a weaker opponent. And I called the Bengals to win even before that. I just think they match up. I just feel like the Bengals would match up well in this game.
Mm-hmm.